Secondly, I'm calling on us to have a greater participation. Because here's the bottom line. Our concern for the next generation, our concern for the history, is not going to be measured so much by the words we say, but by the number of us that are actually walking across the hall to serve the next generation and to be used of God in some simple but powerful way to create a vision in them for what their lives can be as they grow up and inhabit their world as adults. This morning, there's a hallway in the table. And in that hallway, there is an opportunity for us to just take one season of life, 1 month of our lives, and for one service on Sunday morning, be involved in Next Generation Ministry. Be involved in Promised Land. Be involved in Extreme Zone. There are opportunities right there to be had. Listen, there is no spiritual gift for working with children. There is not one. And it's a good thing. Because virtually every adult becomes a parent, and we all have to work with children, don't we? We just do. Working with kids is more a matter of being concerned about them and trying to be used of God to create a vision in them for what their lives can be after we are gone. And I want to challenge every one of us in this room to spend one ministry season, to spend just 1 month, one service, working in Next Generation Ministry. That's all. And as we commit ourselves to serving them, then we're proving by our actions that we really believe in them and we want to envision them. So I just challenge you, stop by the table on the way out. There's so many things you can do. From just teaching, to helping, to doing a craft, to just serving drinks, there's so many opportunities. Be a part of it. Be a part. This ripple that we can create, we can do by changing the way we view Next Generation Ministry. It's how we change the future. Here's the fifth ripple that I believe we could create, and that is we can adopt a simple structure as a church. A simple structure as a church. This is powerfully important because you know what happens? There is an assumption carried by many people who have been Christians for a while that a mature church is a church that offers a lot of programs for people. That's a mature church. Look at all the programs they offer. But did you realize that that's actually not a sign of a mature church? It's just a sign of a busy church. And that in many Christian churches around our landscape and Western culture today, there are people who are so busy doing church that they have no time to be the church. No time. Recent studies have all indicated the same thing. Churches that are programmed heavy are less effective in reaching people and maturing people than churches that have fewer programs. That's what all the research is saying. Programs do not breed maturity. Programs do not create outreach. In fact, they tend to get in the way. And I'm saying that we as a church, as we move into our future, need to be very simple in the way we structure ourselves and in the programs we offer. There are 3 compelling reasons why we need to be very simple as in the way we structure ourselves in the church. The first is this. It's culturally relevant to be simple. Did you know that one of the greatest megatrends moving through our culture right now is simplicity? It's everywhere. Anybody know what that is? Oh, you don't? What is that?
MP3, iPad.
It's an iPod. It's an MP3. It's an iPod. Do you know what the genius of the iPad is? Do you know why it sells more than any other MP3 player by factors of I don't even know what? Because of its simplicity. One button, one finger, little touches, you get wherever you need to be. Apple understands simplicity is the way to go. You know why they understand it? Because we live in a day of incredible complexity. And the complexity of the day in which we live can be so confusing that our hearts in Western culture are crying out, please simplify my life. Apple goes, we get it. Here's an iPod. Google gets it. You ever go to the Google homepage? Do you realize there are people who work full-time for Google to make sure that that page stays looking that way? So it's incredibly simple and easy to navigate because the world's too complex. You do not need a complex homepage to a search engine. Papa John's gets it. You know what their mission statement is? We're only going to do one thing, and we're going to do that one thing really, really well. You know who else gets it? Southwest Airlines. You know what? We don't even have individual seat assignments. We seat people in groups by the order in which they come. We don't have hubs. We have direct flights everywhere. We have minimal service, but it's very, very cheap. It's why Southwest Airlines, in their simple strategy, is the one air carrier that actually makes money. It is the vogue in interior design. Real Simple Magazine is an interior design magazine, the most successful magazine launch in the last 20 years. And it's all built around this thing. Things are so complicated. Here's a simple way to set up the home you live in. Same thing is true with architecture. How Magazine, one of the leading magazines in the architectural industry, has one theme that runs through it. How do we make things simple? See, the world gets it. Businesses get it. Things are so complex. They are so complicated. We are disoriented by the number of choices and things out there. And the human heart cries out, can we just make things simple? And then we come to the church. And we have all of these complicated things and multiple offerings of this and that program and the other thing that just tend to make busier lives busier. It's culturally relevant to be simple. Secondly, I'm not going to show that yet. Secondly, it is biblically commended to be simple. Do you realize an accurate model for the Christian church is that it's not like a vast conventional army. It's like a bunch of little gangs performing guerrilla warfare. The church is to be mobile and adaptable. The church is to be a gathering of people who know how to see a need and quickly respond to that need so that it can be met and opportunities can be seized. God intends for the church to be structured in such a way that ministries can grow up around the passions of its people. It is not to be organized in a way that we hire a bunch of paid professionals to run programs to occupy the time of Christians. It's not supposed to be run that way. And so the biblically commendable way of structuring our church is to keep it simple, mobile, adaptable. And I would also argue that being simple is also practically effective.